everyone. It's Megan from Manifesting Me. Thank you for joining. I write, talk about, and teach manifesting. I have a book called The Pocket Guide to Manifesting available for sale on Amazon.com. And I also do a limited number of one-on-one sessions each month to help people uncover what might be blocking them from manifesting life beyond their fondest dreams. So today I want to talk about something that feels timely where I live in the United States, though I would say probably globally right now. We're experiencing a bit of divisiveness. There's polarity, us versus them, dark versus light. And so what do? How do we understand what's happening when we personally see something outside of ourselves that feels opposite of who we are or opposite of what we believe? What's the lesson there for us, and how do we reconcile it? That's something that I've really been thinking, like, how do I reconcile what's going on in my mind about what's happening when I see somebody outside of me who holds beliefs that feel so contrary to my own? So my first thought is that, because we're creators, everything we think and everything we feel is being created in the world around us. So we are moving this energetic tapestry that we all live in around based on what we think and what we feel. So if I spot it outside of myself, you can bet your butt I got it. So you spot it, you got it. That's a phrase I love. And why? Why would that even be the case, right? Because I believe that we're all here on a spiritual level. We're trying to come back to the source of who we are, which is love. We are trying to learn. So to do that in human body, because we've got these minds, right? Which, minds and egos, and, they're trying to they take us away from love a lot. They take us away from the core of who we are. And so we want to come back to that. And so we manifest situations outside of us to learn more about who we really are. And anytime an energy is pinging around inside of us, you can bet it's going to manifest outside. If it's pinging loudly enough, it's going to manifest outside of us for us to take a look at. So when we see someone acting in a way that we deplore, what's going on? What is that? What are we trying to teach ourselves? I think what's happening is a revolutionary awakening. And I'm going to say that word again. It's a revolutionary awakening to who we are at our core. When we see something that feels so opposite of who we are, and we are pushing it away and pushing it away and pushing it away, and we've had such a strong reaction, that's a big flag to me that says, hey, pay attention. You have this energy in you. So, my gosh, that can be a lot to swallow, right? Can we be brave enough? Can we be bold enough? Can we be vulnerable enough to accept that? And to realize that as humans, we hold the dark, we hold the light. We have the sunshine, we have the shadow. And can we recognize that without judgment? And that goes back to the very first point. I see things outside of myself I don't like. I'm judging them, right? And I'm judging them critically, that being the point. If I'm seeing stuff that I love, we don't usually find a problem with that. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so loving. That's so kind. We're like, oh, yay. That feels really good. But when we're critically judging, it doesn't feel so good. It's lowering our vibration, and it's trying to take us further away from who we are. If we could instead just hold it real tenderly and say, okay, I've spotted something outside of me I don't like. I have that energy in me somewhere, and I'm going to just accept it. I'm not going to rally against it. I'm just going to hold it in my mind, and I'm going to try to understand where that is in me and why I'm being triggered. So I want to offer an example from my own life. In the past couple weeks, I've seen opinions from someone, ideologies, let's say, from somebody that I find shocking, and I find saddening, and confusing, I guess. That's the best way to put it. There's somebody that I thought I knew. There's somebody that I was close with, that's in my life. And so I find myself going, what do I do with that? Like, I can't believe they have those thoughts and those opinions, and they're putting them out there in the world the way that they are. How do I reconcile that for myself? And how do I come to terms with it, or more importantly, find peace with it? So that's, the first flag goes up for me, because again, I have come to realize that everything I see outside of me is somewhere in me. And so I'm going, okay, well, they're expressing their opinions. What am I doing right now? I mean, we all have a right to express what we believe. Okay, so we'll start there. But boy, that person's opinions just feel really harmful somehow to the world, or they feel unkind. And that's challenging to me. Well, am I always kind? No, I'm not always kind. There are thoughts that go through my head sometimes that feel anything but kind. Whether it's, I'm being unkind toward myself, I'm judging myself critically, or I'm being unkind in others in my mind. I mean, what's happening when I say, and it's not just that I'm like, in my nicest moments, when I see that opinions that seem unkind that are being expressed in the world, I think, gosh, let me try to understand that. In my worst moments, I'm going, what a turd ball, what a, what a bag of, my husband would know what to fill that in with, being a Supernatural fan, but that's not kind. So right there, name calling, not kind. So I'm being similar, right? So I hold that same energy that I'm condemning. And I'm trying to teach myself about that. This other person just seems like the perfect scapegoat because they're out there. And that's so much easier to look out there than it is to really turn our view inward and say, who am I really? Who am I really? I like to think I'm this super kind, loving, wonderful person, but I got shadow. I definitely have shadow. So, the other thing, I've labeled their ideology, let's say, as being divisive. So there's somebody who's unkind. I think that they have very much an us versus them mentality, like, oh, all you people are so wrong and stupid and your beliefs are ignorant. And I'm going, oh my gosh, it's like they're after a battle or something. They're just trying to stir things up, and they're just being so mean about it, and they're being, whatever other word you want to put to it. And as I'm noticing all this stuff about them, and I'm getting worked up, and I'm like, yeah, they just seem like they want to stir the pot and get a fight going or something. And oh my gosh, like what a horrible, horrible thing. And as I'm thinking these things, what do you think's happening to my vibration? My vibration is very quickly lowering. My chest is constricting, so I can actually feel the energy around my heart just getting it's like my heart's in a vice, right? If I'm being, really honest with myself and checking in with how I'm feeling as I'm thinking these thoughts about this other person. So yeah, that's another, flag for me. I have to stop and go, wait a second. They want conflict. They seem to want to stir the pot. I seem to want to stir the pot because I'm doing exactly what they're doing, and I seem unable to accept their viewpoints without having a war in my head about it. Yeah, so that's, again, it's like very, very similar what's happening. And, hopefully you guys can kind of relate to this, where you've had moments of that whole, oh, it's out there, this thing I don't like. Can you bring it inside and recognize where you too are like that? Even in that moment. I mean, it's like, I don't think the universe makes it that hard for us. We just have to be paying attention. We have to be radically awake to really get the lesson. So, oh my goodness. So nothing in my body is feeling peaceful as I continue to go down this rabbit hole of how bad that other person's opinions or behaviors are. In that moment, I'm the one who's behaving not great. So I got to bring it back. I have to bring it back. And in this time that we're living in right now, when things are manifesting much more quickly, when a mere thought, a quick fleeting thought can turn into something 15 seconds later where we go, oh, I just thought about that. That's really fast manifestation. They've been saying for years that our manifestations are speeding up. Energy is speeding up. And if that's the case, then I think we really need to keep in check who we are, what we're saying, what we're thinking, how we're doing, how we're feeling. And when we see stuff around us that we don't like, rather than thinking that that's the world out there, remember, the world out there is created here. It's created here first. And once we change what's happening inside of our minds and inside of our own beings, we start to see a different world around us. We start to see, we have less exposure to the opposition, the darkness, that contrast. I'm not saying it goes away entirely, but have you noticed how when you're on a really high vibration, we're attracting more high vibration things and experiences to us. And it's like, oh, wow, I was feeling good. Now I'm feeling great. And it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. Same thing when we are spiraling downward. We're attracting stuff that makes that spiral feel deeper, stronger. We're going lower, lower, lower. So our job as manifestations are speeding up is really to keep our vibration high, to do whatever we can to remind ourselves, rather than looking at the stuff out there and going, that's horrible, I can't stand it, that's so bad, oh my gosh, the world is an awful, awful place. Go, no, the world in here is being awful right now, because it's not understanding that we're all connected, that there's no separation between what's happening out there and what's happening in here. And once we can bring that back and regain that unity consciousness, and unity consciousness is not everybody thinking similarly. Like, let's get that off the table, because where I live in the United States right now, that's like a big thing. Like, oh, we all want to think alike. They're trying to make us into drones. No, that's not. Unity consciousness means I recognize that you're a part of me and I'm a part of you, that my thoughts don't exist in a vacuum. So that's important, because if we're connected, it means I love you like I love me. And it means that I need to do everything I can to learn how to love all the parts of myself, even the ones I don't like. Learn to love them, learn to accept them, learn that love can transmute. Love transmutes darkness into light. And I think that's what we're after. So I'm going to leave it right there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe and know when new videos are posted, go ahead and hit that subscription. And yeah, if you have any comments, I'd love to read them and see where everybody's at with where we are right now in the world, January 2021, how you're doing, how your energy is. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, happy, love-filled manifesting.